Hello, boys and girls. It is good to see you. Welcome back to the Shop of Wood Spun Round. It's a cold, windy, cloudy day here in Northern Kentucky. So, what better place to be but in the shop? Got a couple of friends along with me today for this little pop up live. There's Queen Ruby and there's Todd.
Hey,
Hey,
Ah,
it's cold up
I know
here
what
in
that is.
Canada too.
There
did
we
we
go.
lose Doug? Oh,
No, I'm here. I'm here. I just had to change and cut the sound on that other uh, thing. I had it YouTube open on a different browser so that I could get the live chat. Anyway, here I am. It's good to have everybody. We're going to have a good time. We're going to do a little fix up here in just a few minutes, and I've got Ruby and Todd. They're going to provide color commentary. So let me switch cameras and show you a couple of things, and then we'll get to going, and they can share with us who all's in the chat. Just wanted to quickly share with you. This is the piece from yesterday. That camera looks a little foggy, still foggy, but it's better. Nice spalted oak that I got. When I picked up the logs, I intended for that to be walnut, but it's oak, and it came out beautiful. Show you the back and what we're doing there now with my logo and the species and the date all laser engraved into the back. But as you can see, some beautiful spalting there. And this just came out, it sanded out super smooth. Really like that piece.
Looks
My
great.
wife's gonna be hard my wife's gonna be hard pressed to let that go. I can already tell you she was she was holding it and fondling it yesterday or last night after I got it done. Um, some of y'all follow Zombie Wood Turner. He's a fun turner to watch. A lot of times, not a lot of times, every once in a while he launches a piece across the lathe. Sometimes he creates quite a bit of havoc when he does that. But other times he has some great pieces. He finds some wonderful wood. Um, he has access to some crazy woods out there in California, and this is one of them. That's a piece of California lilac. It's very dark red. You see a light brown streak right through there. That was a crevice that I filled in, and you also see some light brown right in the center. That's where he went through, and I have glued on with hot glue. My this is a block that I use all the time for plates. I've used this. I've done probably a dozen plates or more with that same glue block. I haven't taken any more off of it. I generally glue it on to a flat board for plates with CA glue. And then when I'm ready to take it off, I put a chisel in the joint, give it one or two good whacks, and it comes right off, no problem. This time, because of the irregularity of this lilac, I've used hot glue, and it's just around. You can see it there. It's just around the seam between the glue block and my wood. I don't need it inside. In fact, I can't. There's a hollow in there that I could not put glue on the center. Excuse me, the center portion of that. Um, And so anyway, it's just around the outer edge. We're going to see if I can fix this. In fact, I'm going to give you some choices here in a minute. I'm going to work on this for a minute first, and then I'm going to give you some choices on what we use to fill that center portion. So while I'm start working on this, I'll let I'm going to guess. Well, I don't know who it's going to be. Somebody's going to read off who all's in the chat for us, and we'll get going here.
Would you like the honors, Todd?
I can try it. I know we have Rob at Copper Owl Wood Turning. Mike Evans is here. We've got Dale, Old Man River, Wood Turning. Ronald Todd. Uh, let's see, Birch Bowls. Todd at Glen Cove. Anthony Green showed up there. Let's see, Frederick Day. Did I miss anyone? That might be it.
That's all that I saw on my list.
Yeah.
If
So
if we did miss you, we apologize and welcome you anyway.
Yeah, right. And,
Welcome.
Jim Selby just came in. So yeah, it's not a bad group here for late notice. So welcome.
Well, and just a little pop up. This really is part of my big reason for doing this today is one, I wanted to do this piece, but also I missed last week, and that was totally my fault. I was out doing some errands and kind of got caught up in what I was doing and just missed. That's all there is to it. And so I said then I would try to do a pop up just to kind of make up for it. And so this is what we're doing today. And this is a piece that Zed sent me, and I wanted to work on it. So got her on the lathe. Let me turn the speed down just to make sure everything's good. That's pretty slow. 50 RPMs, love it. Crank
I
it up
like
slowly.
I like when you can read what the speed is before you turn it on.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that's got us up to, that's right at 1,000 RPMs. I've got a sharp bowl gouge here. I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to get this center nice and round. And also I want to come back and thin this out just a little bit. He's got it like just a hair over a half an inch at this point. It's a real light cut. I want to make this a nice round circle here. I've already got it nice and round, it looks like. Let's turn it off and check.
Now, eventually, are you going to glue something in there?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I've got to make that a bit wider. I've still got some broken out area. But I did examine this pretty closely. I've got plenty of meat in here to work with, and I think it's going to work out really nice. Still, a little further. Just realized I didn't even have my shield up. Or down. I need to have it down.
I guess an unintended benefit there is you got a nice depth indicator when you have a hole in the bottom.
Yeah, buddy. We know exactly how thick it is.
I've been working very hard to not join that club.
I joined it with a bottom feeder tool about a week ago for the third
Oh,
time.
did you?
Todd is asking you to change camera. Maybe you can zoom in and take us out of the picture.
I can definitely take you out of the picture. I thought I did that, but I messed myself up when I. There we go. Is that better?
That's a whole lot better.
Okay. I can't zoom in any further than that, but that's more like what you needed. All right, I'm gonna get my parting tool here. I want this to be nice and straight right here.
I think it's just hard for people to see because of how dark colored the wood is.
So the wood is dark. That's a fact. Let's get my little 1/4 inch skew here. I think I can straighten that up a little easier. I want the sides of this mortise to be real straight.
Now, Ron is saying fill the void with epoxy and sawdust from the piece. Personally, he wouldn't have rounded the hole out.
I understand. I know exactly what you're saying, and that would have been neat. I don't do epoxy. Don't have any epoxy. If I had some, I might have tried it on this, but that's pretty good. So what I want to do, and like everything else, this is my way. My way is not the only way by any means, and so I'm just showing you my way of doing this kind of thing, and I kind of like the way it comes out.
Rob is asking if Zed sent any dust with the piece.
No. Now,
Fred's suggesting a cup or something in the center turned out of contrasting wood could be okay.
That's kind of the direction we're going. I've got that set. I've got a measurement. I don't care what the. I'll get it where you can see it here. I've got a digital meter there. I don't care what that says. What I care about is that's what I care about, and we'll mark that on my fill piece here in just a minute. So that just gets set aside. I'm gonna come back in here and thin this piece just a little bit. Everything's working good. I'm not coming loose. Just checking it. I've got plenty. I've got a pretty solid connection between my work piece and my glue block at this point. So everybody's good to go.
Now, as Rob says, the lighter wood will work. It's hard to hide it, so you might as well emphasize it.
Exactly. I'll show you what I pulled out, and you guys are going to have a little bit of say in what we do here. Coming out, finding the edge of the wood.
And Johnny Foster has joined us. Hi, John.
Hey, Johnny.
And as Ron says, being the hole is rounded out, you have a design opportunity to do an insert where the sky is the limit. And Rob is asking, did Zed put a Prop 65 sticker on it?
Probably needed to. Been interesting here lately to see things coming out of California, and everything it does has that warning sign on it. Doing anything with wood is dangerous. Well, yeah, it can be. Anything we do can be dangerous.
But that's half the fun.
Seeing if we can beat the odds.
Is that stuff pretty
There are
hard,
some things
Doug?
I will do that with. It, yeah, it's dense. This wood, it's hard to tell. It may have been in the ocean a while. It's definitely been in a fire.
Wow.
The only thing coming off of it is dust.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. It was just dust rising off of it.
And Todd was suggesting that a laser engraving of the California lilac plant might make a nice insert on a light wood, being as how you have your LP1 laser pecker.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have to look out for that. Yeah, your audio every now and again is getting distorted, Doug.
Okay.
It comes and goes.
Yeah, I really don't know what to do about it. I don't have, the only thing running is the lathe. And so I know that tool is sharp, but it's acting like it's dull. That's better. No, it's not.
Well, if worse
It's
comes to
interesting.
worse, you can always use some carbides.
Yeah. The way this one's cutting, I'm probably going to switch to carbide in just a second anyway. In fact, let's do. That's not worth it. It's cutting better with the pull cut than it was a push, but still not the way it ought to cut. raise it up just a touch so that I'm at center with my carbide. Make sure I didn't move anything. We're good to go. Yeah, I was wondering a little earlier what I wanted to use for the insert. And I'm going to let you guys choose the insert. I'm going to show you 4 choices.
Rob is saying that Zed would have used at least 6 different tools by now.
You're exactly right.
Doug's already on number
probably
3.
would have too.
I'm sorry, what?
I said I probably would have too, till I found the one that was going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
And Todd just commented, and they would have all been homemade.
Yeah, Zed made those tools out of demolition tools, and he uses them a lot. In fact, he used them on this. Man, that is, I probably personally would have gone thinner, but I kind of like it the way it is. It's got a little bit of heft to it, but not nearly as much as it had. It took about a third or so of the thickness out of it. Switch it overhead, and you can kind of see what we got. There we go. So we took a bit of weight out of it, and it's pretty nice and smooth at this point. Give it a little bit of a sand, just real quick. Turn it down. There's 500. I'm gonna put these on. Here we go. Just use some of my intermediary pads to hold my sandpaper, at least this grit to start with. My second grit doesn't have Velcro on the back, so it makes it a little more difficult, but we can still do it. Just to protect my fingers. But yeah, Todd, you're right. This wood is really hard, really dense.
That's why the carbides work better on it, because carbides do work better on very hard, dense wood.
Sure. And I was able to get the speed up. The carbide likes a little more speed as well. Out here on the outer edge where it's irregular, I'm just letting the sandpaper and the pad, I'm not really pushing it, just enough to bend the pad and just let it do its work. Kind of like my fingers where they are.
Somebody just showed up backstage.
Okay. All right, let me get where I can do something about that. Hello, Mr. Clasper. How are you today?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
Well, better late than never.
Yeah, I was preparing Jane's tea.
Oh, did you prepare mine too?
Oh, that's fine.
No, sorry, Ruby.
Well, now that you're here, I'll go plug the kettle in.
There we go. Now I got everything back to square. I started to ask you earlier if you had that taken care of.
Ronald's saying an easy way to remove the glue block is to saturate it with DNA. And Chris
everybody
Walters.
in Scotland.
Chris Walters has joined.
Hello, Chris. Oh, love it when stuff falls to the floor. It's so hard to get. All right, let's go up a grit. Get that one is quick sandy sand. Yeah, when this piece went through, all the sanding ceased, and so it was sanded on this side, but not a whole lot. Um, he had a good thing going when a hole developed. It was just it was one little area that really got paper thin. The rest of it was okay, but that thin area let go and took the rest of it with it. This wood does have a few faults in it, so
It seems way lighter color now that you've taken a little off of it.
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah.
well, it's yeah, it's partially because I opened it up and we got to get some finish back on it. He had a little bit of finish on there.
I quite imagine when
I'm
you put
thinking
the
I need
finish
to
on it, it's
pack up.
going to get dark again.
Yes, it will. It will. So Wayne, all I did, I used hot glue and glued the glue block that I've been using to turn plates with onto the back.
Yeah.
Then I was able to make the center hole nice and round so that I can put an insert in it. Tell you what I'm going to do. Because I have the ability.
Fred was saying that in his limited experience, denatured alcohol works okay. It doesn't seem to attack the glue, but seeps in and loosens the adhesion.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, the alcohol definitely will break the adhesion of the glue um, so that you can get that off without any trouble. Now you can, I could very carefully turn the back side of that so that, or use a parting tool and part it off. But I'm not going to take the chance. I'm just going to put the alcohol on it, let it do its thing. It'll take a minute or two, but we got something else we got to do with the insert while that's softening. So it won't be a big deal.
I'm fine, thanks, Chris.
Chris posted today a couple of really nice pens that he's just made. They looked very good.
Hmm. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. One more grit. That'll get us up to, ouch. Not good to stick your arm in that
Yeah.
free swinging edge.
Yeah. Watch your wrist on that.
Yeah.
Now, Chris is saying that he loves making pens, but he's kind of burnt out on them. And he wants to do some other stuff, and he will this week, he hopes. I think everybody gets to that
Well,
point with whatever they're turning.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can turn too much of anything. I did knock the bark off a little bit. Okay, we're going to survive though. All right, let me give it a little blow.
Just
See,
as
that
long as
made it
you're
a
not
little darker just doing that.
I was going to say, Doug, just as long as you're not picking that bark
As
out
long
of
as
your
you're not what?
forearm.
True.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly. Exactly.
Fred asks if it's possible to turn the glue block into a small foot And I don't think you can because you use hot glue and not a permanent glue on it.
Yeah, you'd have to use either a wood glue or an epoxy.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't. If you plan to do that, you could, but I wasn't planning to do that. I want something different. Let me give this a quick squirt with the alcohol on the glue, and then I'm going to show you guys a couple of things here. Get the chuck key out. Get my face shield out of the way. Now, okay, what? Oh, there they are. I'm going to show you in an order. I don't know if it's the order. I don't know what order I ought to show it to you, but this is the order I've got them in. Okay, first piece that I want to show you. This is some of my hackberry. There's a little bit of that camera's washing out. Let me switch to face cam.
Where the
I
overhead?
get everything out of my way. Yeah, overhead's probably even better. That's a good idea. Top zoom. There we go. Okay, there's the hackberry. You still can't see it. That's got a little bit of dark spalting marks in it. Very nice. I'm going to switch back over to the face cam like I started to. There we go. You can almost see the spalting in it. There you go. Little light spalting in there. It's a real nice piece of wood. And then I picked up, and I think it's, I can check it. Is that going to be big enough? Not really. It's not really big enough, but I can get another piece. That's a piece of walnut. That would look good. But number 3, it's a piece of oak, spalted oak. It's been around a while. Would look phenomenal in that piece. Hold it up with it. You can kind of see what we're looking at.
Yeah.
But and it's your choice. But I picked up another piece.
I go with that one.
Yeah. That's my choice.
Yeah,
and
I
I've
think
got
I'd go
a
with that
nice
one as well.
It's a nice big piece. The other side's not quite as spalted, which is okay. It'll be like that on the inside and that on the outside. So, but yeah, that's a beautifully spalted piece of something. It might be maple. I'm not sure what it is. It's just a hunk that was laying around. And when I sawed it off the outer skin, that's what I was looking at before. And then I sawed it off just to square everything up. Oh, that's beautiful stuff. Okay, that's what we're going to go with. That can go in there. Get all these others out of the way.
You just teased us with those other choices and then saved that for the last. I know you.
Well, that was the order I picked them up in originally. I knew it was going to look great when I got there, but then when I found this other piece, holy cow!
Now the Dutchman's Wood Shack has just joined us.
Hey, I just I sprayed it again, put my chisel in the edge. Easy as that. Hot glue does not work, or what am I trying to say? Alcohol really does do a great job with removing hot glue. Now I've got a nice little edge. It feathers out a bit on one side of that circle, but the other side is nice and wide. So what I want to do now is turn one side of this. I'll probably this plainer side I'm going to turn down to a tenon that I can put in the chuck. That side will be a tenon that will go into this circle, but there will be enough left that it'll have a ledge that it lives on. Okay, so get stuff out of my way again. Put my mouse up there, let him live there. I want to take that chuck out. That's what I want to do. All right, sandpaper goes flying. That's okay. Oh, have y'all Notice the floor gets further and further away. Seems like every day it's a little
That's
further away.
why I have different pickup tools right by the lathe.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to grab the chuck with the Hornick jaws on it. They're a little smaller, so I can make a little smaller tenon. But it will also hold my step center. So we're good to go there. Lock that in place. The Hornick jaws are part of the new set that Nova came out with. They had, I don't remember now, 5 or 6 different jaw sets that all came out at the same time. Hornick jaws are whatever they are. They're small. Inch and an eighth or inch and a quarter. They may be an inch when they're closed. I don't know, but they're real small. And so that's what we're going to work toward. We're going to work toward an inch and an eighth, just because. That'll make
Change
sure I've
camera,
got
Doug.
plenty of grab. I will. Still just getting set up here. Make sure my Morse taper is clear before I stick that in there. All right. That looks pretty good. Fairly straight for eyeballing it. That's not too bad. I usually have to do that about 3 or 4 times and finally get it where it's close enough. When I was a kid, I used to say everything was close enough for government work. I don't say that anymore.
Definitely
All right,
not
turn
our
my-
government.
All right. Yeah, that's running real good. So we can run our speed up to, let's go back up to 1,000 RPMs again. It gives us a nice clean cut. I'm going to go back to my Sorby that I'm pretty sure was sharp from yesterday. I didn't use it yesterday, so. Oh, yeah.
Now, is this orientated towards side grain?
Yes. I'm going to turn it off and bring my tool rest up closer. All right. Oh, yeah. Todd, you're watching your time, aren't you?
Now, Fred Day has said that he's thinking of making a few YouTube videos and possibly later some lives. What advice would you give to a newbie to try and achieve this?
A decent computer that's got lots and lots of USB ports, because what you really need to do if you have multiple cameras is have a proper or a designated USB port for each camera and not use a hub.
Yes.
If you're going to do videos, you need a decent editing suite. And obviously, if you're going to do lives, you need to have a decent set of headphones with noise cancellation on them.
Yeah, and you really can't understate that hub issue, because these USB cameras that you would want to be able to plug in there, if that's what you were talking about, Wayne.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They do. hubs do not support those well. So you might be able to run one camera off of a hub, but not 2 or 3.
If you don't have a lot of USB ports, concentrate the cameras on the USB ports that the computer has,
Yes.
and you can actually use a hub for the peripherals on the computer, the likes of a wireless keyboard, a wireless mouse, because that's okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
they work. I would say at least 2 cameras. 3 or 4 would be better, but 3 will get you through, or 2 will get you through. Something like this one at an angle down beyond your tailstock, and then one directly overhead, so that you have this view that you see here, and then that view. So, all right, I've got to get a paper towel.
Right. So, Todd, what video editor certainly the one that I use is Filmora Wondershare. I find it very easy to use. A lot of people do just use their phones.
Yes, absolutely. When I'm doing video, I use my phone and use. I have an iPhone, and so I use the Apple software for editing, and it works. I find it works very well. Some people will use Filmora, others use. Holy cow! There's tons of them out there.
And a piece of advice that somebody gave me one time was focus a little more on the sound that's coming off than you think you would. Because bad sound is more irritating to people. And then advice that I have to give myself over and over again when I do videos is, I'm some guy videoing in my garage. No one expects it to be perfect. So don't expect yours to be perfect. What's important is, get your message across and then get it out there. And over time you can improve. And if you decide you didn't like it, go back and delete one. But get that first one out there.
Yeah. I think when I started off doing videos, I was just using my iPhone.
Yeah, it's an easy way to get started. And then as you progress and if you want to start doing lives, you can get a couple of cameras, and they don't have to be expensive cameras, but they need to be of some decent quality anyway. Yeah.
Todd at Glen Cove is a bit worried about your arm, Doug.
Okay, Todd, my arm's fine. It's no. I wiped it up. It's we're okay now, I think.
So you're still less than 1 unit lost?
Yeah, by a long way. Now, I know good and well I put a mark on there. There it is.
And Jamie's just come in. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. I hope your ears were burning. We talked about you earlier.
That's what I was going to say, Ruby. Disappointingly, it was all good.
Okay. Come on. There you go. All right. Now that I've done that, I'm going to just about make it go away, but we're okay. We're okay.
Now, Todd is saying that you're not allowed to bleed on the wood. On the other hand, it might add some red color and help it match in with the other piece.
And when I don't have any intrinsic ruby, I tried to buy some, and there was none to be had at the time, unfortunately. But we're okay. We're okay.
Well, it's after 12 o'clock my time, Doug. I'm going to drink this stuff.
Have fun. If we hear gagging, we'll know what happened.
Yeah, I guess everybody, I have a colonoscopy tomorrow, and I'm about ready to start my prep work.
All right.
It's fun time.
Yeah, I bet. Make sure you drink it while you're on the toilet.
JP, you didn't do anything. It's what you didn't do.
All right, how does that? Just a touch big. I left it big, left my line big on purpose, and I stopped short of it. So we're okay. We're okay. We're getting closer. Don't need a snap fit, but I do need a good fit.
Now, Fred was saying that he thinks that a lily-shaped cup in the center would make a lily flower.
Almost there. This can go from too tight to too loose real quick.
Yeah.
Never mind.
If that happened, you could take a piece of a real light colored wood and just make a tiny ring for that to set
Could.
in.
I've got a. Oh.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Remember, everybody, when you're doing anything like this, when you're trying to get things fitted like this, what you take off one side of the piece, you also take off the other.
Right.
Yeah.
And
That
Haley,
Haley's just come in.
hi Haley.
That looks
Haley.
perfect, Doug.
It is. That is a perfect fit right there. Now, could I do it again? Just a couple of tries? Probably not. But that's got maybe an eighth of an inch of a sticking out, which is perfect. Once I glue that together, in fact, that's what we're going to do next. We're going to glue this together.
What glue are you going to use?
Actually, I think I'm going to turn it around backwards. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just going to glue it on, and where it lands is where it lands, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to glue it in just like that. I am going to use a combination.
Is there any grain orientation on the dark piece?
Yes, there is. And not much though, Wayne. It's so dark. It actually runs. Runs up and down like that.
Ah, right. I'm with you.
So I kind of want my grain to go that way.
Yeah.
So like that. That's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to use a combination. I'm going to use some wood glue and some CA. The CA will grab it quick. The wood glue will be more long term. I've got this surface pretty flat, and so and of course I got some dried glue that won't let this flow. There we go.
Oh, Zed's in. Evening, Zed.
Hey, Zed. Working on your California lilac, brother.
It's looking good.
In fact, nice. I should probably say good morning, Zed.
Yeah, still morning there, not by much. I'll put a little bit of CA around the edge of this opening here, and we'll put some on the actual tenon, and then, yeah, that was my orientation there. What'd he say?
No, it was Jamie. It wasn't Zed. It was Jamie.
Oh, surely not Jamie. Jamie
wants to know if Wayne has sorted out his ring polishing stuff yet.
Yeah. It's sorted.
I figured it was.
I've got the ring expander working as well.
Let's see. I don't even think I need to. I just need to give this a minute. Let all that glue kind of grab hold. I am going to give it a squirt of of accelerator. It won't help the wood glue, but it'll help the little dab of CA I put in there. And if it comes off, it comes off. We're not going to worry about it. Put that tool away. Don't need it any longer. Now, what I am going to do, and I'll just point this out right now. I've got the lilac out here. I've got this spalted, I think it's maple, in here. And I'm going to come out just a hair from that, give it just a tiny little space. I'm going to put a little bit of a groove in there, and I'm going to get some dust and put in there of some kind, something light, just to make a ring. I say that, well, that's so dark. If I burn it, it won't show.
Won't show up.
Yeah, burning it won't show. So I'll probably get some light, some shavings and crunch them up here real good, and just put a tiny ring around that, just to make it so it says I'm on purpose. It's not going to say I'm a repair, I hope.
Zed is asking, is the sound off, or is it just for him? It's just for you, Zed, although you can't hear me say that.
Yeah, if you don't have sound, I think it's just you, buddy. Let's see, I'm going to turn the speed down. Let's go down to 5. All right. And then
No.
Hey, we're on Ruby.
Just me.
Has he pressed the wrong button again?
Is he still there?
I'm not sure he's still with us. I think he might have left for a little bit.
I hope he notices.
So do I. I can't imagine that you folks came in just to look at me.
I can't imagine we didn't.
I don't know.
Maybe. So what do you have for show and tell, Ruby? I know you have something.
Oh, I'm sure I've got a few things. I've got one I haven't finished. Here you go. It's a little box inside of a sphere.
Oh,
nice.
That's cool.
So I still have to, I've made a tenon here for it to fit into a base of some sort. And once it's a nice fit inside there. So that's the way it'll set once I get it done. That was a nice piece of boxwood that I used.
Very nice.
Yes, that is cool.
So I do all kinds of strange things.
Zed says it looks cool. He wish he could hear you.
What can I say? Most people don't want to hear my monotone voice. I'm glad they can still hear both of you. Jamie wishes he was an RPT. We could make you one, Jamie. What else do I have? Well, there's a Christmas ornament.
Is that those are cut through?
Actually, it was an inside-out ornament.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So on the outside, it was hollow. It's quite thin. The thickness on this piece is probably about 1/8 of an inch. So a little texturing on the top. What I should do is put a little hook here so it can hang on a table.
Here he is. He's back.
Okay.
Oh, Doug, we were starting to get worried.
I was starting to get worried. StreamYard kicked me out in mid-sentence. I was just talking about my high dollar trays that I use. Just plastic lids that come on convenience foods.
Now I
This
was
one
going to
happens to
say,
be cottage. You're going to say,
I'm glad you went back to highlighting yourself and not me.
there
Well, when it comes to the
we go.
end, when it comes to the end, it'll probably be you that's on.
That hasn't happened before, has it, Wing?
I think it has.
I don't know. Since I originated, now that I'm back on, I think it'll come back to me.
Yeah, it should do.
Yeah, if I had not come back, Ruby, you would have been large and in charge. Well, you'd have
Well,
been in charge.
that's okay. They demanded I show them a few show and tell items.
Sure, why not?
We twisted her
Oh.
arm. It took a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I had to turn all the way around.
All right, just working some of these little shavings down into that groove. Shake them off. All right, that may do us. That may do us. So I'll give that a little squirt of accelerator.
Oh,
I
that
tell you
color
what,
is something.
yeah, it's a dark red. It's lovely, lovely stuff. I've got to say that accelerator bottle that I use, every time I use it, I like it more and more. It atomizes the accelerator a little. I buy an 8-ounce bottle of accelerator. It's not under pressure or anything. It's just loose in a bottle, and I put it in that little atomizer bottle, and it works so nicely. And that 8-ounce bottle will hold up for several years. I need to order some more. That atomizer is about half full now. That'll last me another 6 months. So if I order some, um, it'll be here plenty of time.
Jamie's asking if you have anyone set up so they can stop your stream should they need to.
No. Let's see. I got to switch. There's where we need.
If he did, Jamie, it'd have to be either Wayne or Todd because I'm not that technologically advanced.
Oh, you could do it. It's a matter of you hit the end stream button. It's red, so you can't miss it. All right, that's got us in good place. It's 500. Get my. Okay, there it is. I didn't put my face shield where it belongs, and so I had to hunt it. Let's run that back up to close to 1,000 RPMs.
Rob is asking, does anyone know what is in CA Accelerator? And I used to know, and I forget.
I think it's a little bit brand dependent.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What is it? What is the main ingredient in the CA Accelerator?
Yeah, I think you're right, Todd. It kind of depends on who puts it out. Some of them are faster than others. Some are slower than others. The CA Accelerator that comes from the same company as my CA, theirs is totally different because they use a different formula for their glue.
That contrast between light and dark is really nice.
That's always a question when you do this is will it be the right contrast? Oh, just that quick, we're there. Move that out of the way, turn my speed back down. And I go up and down in my speed when I'm sanding because I'm of the belief that sanding should be something below 1,000 RPMs. In fact, I think it should be closer to 500 RPMs. Lets the sandpaper do its work. Lets it be efficient.
Stick fast accelerators about 50% acetone.
Is Google your friend?
Well, you can find the main ingredient is called amine, AMINE, and it's the settling ingredient that's carried by a solvent, and the solvent can be the acetone, heptane, or ethyl alcohol.
Okay.
And Mike's just come in from dances.
Hey, Mike.
Hi,
We
Mike.
got all kind of fun stuff in today. I know you folks in the UK, it's tea time. For us in the US, it's early afternoon. Started out at lunchtime. It's gone beyond lunchtime now.
Well, if he'd come in a little sooner, that box I made might have intrigued him. His mind works that way.
Without turning it off, I'm wondering if I didn't pull all the shavings out of my line, and I might have.
And Scott Hampton is saying it's 10:27 in the morning in California.
Good morning, Scott.
Morning,
Hey,
Scott.
I didn't pull it out, but I don't have it. I don't have a complete fill, so I'll come back and work on that at another time. Okay. So now what we've got this front end that's pretty well done. Needs a little work yet. But I've still got all this back end. How are we going to do that? Well, again, if you can hold it, you can turn it. And so this is just a block. I may have to change chucks. This is just a block that I've had sitting around for a long, long time that I use for a friction drive. Some would call it a jam chuck. I'm just going to jam the piece up against it. Oh, come on, get a lock. There you go. Not like that. Anyway, I've used this block again for many years. I had this around for a long time. And every once in a while, I pull it out and I use it. But it gives me something I can put the face of that bowl up against. And
do you use any of the non-slip mat? Oh yeah, you've got some there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was getting to that. What am I after? Oh, I'm after a chuck.
Getting ahead of myself.
Let's go with this one. That's all right.
That was almost a good setup, Wayne.
Great minds think alike, Wayne.
Absolutely. A lot of that going on today. All right. It's a different chuck, so a different key.
Yes, Mike, that is blood on Doug's arm. He forgot to move it when he got a little close to the wood.
That edge right there reached out and bit me.
Yeah. You forgot to switch the lids off.
All right. We'll put that on there and that on there. We'll get the pencil out of the way first. Get the tool rest out of the way. Bring this up. We've still got a center hole marked. So
works out great when you have a registration point left over.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm going to put it on live center first and then run it into the jam center or the jam chuck, friction drive, whatever you want to call it.
Friction drive, I think.
Yeah, that's probably the proper term. I've noticed over the last couple of years, more and more people, instead of calling it a friction drive, call it a jam chuck. And that's
No,
okay.
to me, a jam chuck is something that you jam something into.
Right. You would actually grab it somehow. With this irregular piece, it's impossible or virtually impossible. Okay, just double check. We're tight. That's
Yeah,
tight.
I've got a small vacuum chuck that I think I would have used on that.
Maybe it's got enough stuff going on in it that it may not have held this piece of wood. Put a little more speed in it here. That's got us back to 1,000 RPMs. Oh, I meant to point out too, you can see that's running real true because I had that center point where the live center was in it originally was still in there. And so we're as true as we can be. Doesn't mean you always will be, but this time I'm very, very true.
Seems a shame to be turning away that nice piece of wood.
Yeah, that's some pretty spalting in it for sure.
The big part of this was turned as another piece at some point. And so, yeah, I don't feel too awful bad about it. I'm going to put it there and then we'll give it a turn, make sure we're still clear. We are. Good. Yeah, we're okay. My arm's fine. It's not bleeding or anything. That is, I don't know if you all can hear that or not, but the anti-slip cloth is ticking my tool rest.
As long as it's not tickling your arm.
No.
Hey, Mick Dews has joined us. Hi, Mick.
Hey, Mick.
Hey, Mick. No sandpaper here.
I relieved him of all of that when I was in England.
Uh-oh. Well, maybe not. Thought I was feeling CA glue on hit my arm. Oh. Now that we've gotten that far, let's take another look. Oh, that's what I was feeling. I was feeling this wood glue that's coming out around the edge that hasn't dried just yet. It will, but it hasn't yet. There's the tool I'm looking for. My little detail gouge. I am going to make that a foot on there. I'm not going to run the risk of losing this. So give it just a little curve going around there. A little cleanup going into the corner. Then we'll come around the other side of it. So it's rounded. All right, now I can get in there with my bowl gouge and finish that up. Well, Todd, we didn't hear any crazy noises. You must have done okay with that first drink.
Still here.
Still working on it, huh? Okay. Now,
I'm
is that
questioning the amount of time I have, but I'm still here.
I think you're going to be here for the duration.
is that the stuff that tastes kind of like 7-Up?
No, this is new improved cranberry flavor.
Oh God,
Oh,
I couldn't drink that.
Oh, it was horrible. They tell you to drink 5 8-ounce glasses of water afterwards, and I'm pretty sure that still won't get rid of the flavor.
No,
oh,
that's
okay.
something I definitely don't like is cranberries.
That's
Yeah,
good. That means more for me.
I'm gonna change my bowl gouge. That one's like on the front. It's starting to feel dull. And sometimes spalted wood will do that. It'll dull your tool fairly quickly sometimes.
Now, Mick says he got a load of sandpaper free when he was in Harrogate.
Yeah, how unusual for Mick.
Don't tell Mark. Yes, Mick, I did get that lump of you back to Canada. I partly turned it when I was at Pete's place. So part of it did become two very nice looking mushrooms. And as soon as I get all my tools unpacked, I will look at rendering the rest of it.
When did you get home, Ruby?
When did I get home?
Last Wednesday, wasn't it?
Thursday.
Thursday, sorry.
Last
Yeah, I
Thursday. Okay.
took a side trip through Iceland.
Oh, right.
Ah,
It was kind of neat watching the volcano from the plane as we went over top.
Oh, I bet.
is that an active volcano?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's erupted. I think this is the 8th time this year.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, it's not a very big one though.
No, it's not a high up mountain one. It tends to be a long, shallow one.
I've
No,
turned the speed down to 600 just to whittle this nub down.
Now, about 30 years ago, I was in Iceland, toured the entire island. We were photographing it. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for a really nice place to visit, Iceland is a beautiful country.
I've only done
Yeah.
a stop over there when I was in the army going to Canada, going to Alberta. We had a brief layover in
Well,
Iceland.
you were going out to God's country.
Yeah, went to Alberta. I had a nice, once we finished the exercises out there, had a nice tour about. Went from Medicine Hat up to Calgary, and then up to Lake Louise, up to Jasper, and then back down to Medicine Hat again.
Well, I used to live in Lake Louise.
Oh, right. Absolutely beautiful.
And just outside of Calgary, my grandparents homesteaded that area, and my grandmother was responsible for bringing most of the Scandinavians. This is going back to the late 1850s into the area to settle and get the land grants that were going at the time.
Oh, right.
Ah,
Beautiful country out there.
It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean,
yeah, those days. Go ahead.
the training area where we were is called Battus, which is British Army Training Unit Suffield.
Okay.
And the maps we actually used, it was the place where they did one of the biggest non-atomic explosions back in the 50s, I think it was.
Mhm.
Now it's plains land. There's not a hell of a lot of trees. It's just basically rolling plains land, and they've actually got mile markers. So from the camp, you go out a mile. There's a set of markers go all the way around with numbers on. Then you go out 2 mile, and there's another set, and that's how we used to map read by using these markers.
It sounds like back in the days of the Roman Empire. Okay, I'm going to take this down to 300. One more. There we go. I'm going to put the. If I change cameras again, I can show you what I'm doing. I'm going to put the bevel against the back side, the bottom side of the foot, point into the nub, and I'm going to press with the bevel going into it with my left hand on the stop button, a la Phil Anderson. As soon as that nub stops or breaks like that, we're done.
Yes, Jamie, Wayne and I were both in the army during the Roman Empire. Right, Wayne?
That's right, Ruby.
If it wasn't turning those large spindles, they'd have never got any equipment anywhere.
Yep.
I hear tell that Wayne designed the road system.
Yeah, I was before it was the Roman Empire. I used to be wood turner for the pharaohs.
Yes.
Wayne, you just keep digging it further back, don't you? Oh, me. Anyway, there is a piece of California lilac. If I get it on camera where you can see it, California lilac that had a void in the center. Zed sends it to me. What can I do with it? Well, I stick a piece of spalted, I think, maple in there with some dust around just to give it a little sense of purpose. And then the back, that same piece of spalted maple becomes the foot. You can see it's rounded over. There we go. So you can see it and gives it a little lift as well. This is concave. It's not flat. It's concave. And I'll do a little sanding here. Put my logo in like I did. Oh, for those of you who came in late and didn't see it.
You're upside down. Okay.
There's my logo. And that comes from watching Zed for a couple of years do that with his laser. And I'll do the same thing on that piece. So I may even put, I'm not going to ask him for his files, but if he wanted to send me his little skull, I might put him over on the corner here along with mine and have them both ways. That might be cool. Anyway, little hand sanding, and that one will be done. A little finish. Probably use some Howard's feeding wax on there just to give it some life. That's what I put on this oak bowl after the fact, and it came out. Wayne, you asked me yesterday what I was going to put on that. I decided last night Howard's feeding wax, and that just it feels scrumptious. My wife fondled that bowl for, I don't know, 30 minutes or so last night, and she likes it. I may not be able to get it out of here.
And Baz has just come in from Real Simple Things. Evening, Baz.
But that's it. Baz, sorry, we didn't burn anything tonight. We just repaired. So anyway, there you have it. Piece of California lilac. I can't say the scientific name of it, but like I said, it had a void in the center here. It was irregular, but we were able to grab hold of it with a glue block, make it round so that we could work with it. And now it's been filled with a piece of spalted, I'm going to call it maple because I don't know otherwise.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I like the way the top came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, that ring gives it a little bit of intentionality. I might could have done a dark ring back here, maybe that would have looked pretty cool, but getting to that can be a difficult thing. And I didn't think about it till just now, honestly. But just a nice little knick-knack dish, can sit out on the coffee table, entry table, what have you, whatever. So with that, let me click there. Then I can click, now that Todd's sitting down again. Are you okay, Todd? You okay, Todd?
I'm back.
Okay, just making sure you're okay.
Yep.
I
All
saw you
good.
sitting down and thought, So anyway, there you have it, folks. Tell you what, this has been good for me. I hope it was good for you. Just a little makeup for missing last week. I felt so, honestly, I felt stupid last week when I looked at my clock and it was 10 till 3 and I was 20 minutes away. So there you have it. It's been a good day. Got a good recovery. Zed, I hope I made you proud, and I'll send you pictures. How about that? Anything else anybody else wants to say, needs to say?
Haley is just finished turning some resin and and cleaned up, and she said it was driving her mad. So she's back to turning wood tomorrow.
And
Good,
JP thinks that some opals would look good around that ring.
Some what?
Oh,
Some opal dust.
Yeah, opal dust filling in.
Oh yes. If I had some, that would have looked cool. I just noticed there's a place right there. I can see daylight through the backside.
oh
This wood's
wow.
it's just full of voids. It's full of voids. Right up in here, it's full of voids. And that was where I'd put some coffee grounds in there, but I either turned through them or they came out. I think I turned through them.
Somebody at the door,
They weren't all
Ruby.
that deep. Yeah.
Yeah, there's multiple
Yeah.
places where when you're moving that around, we can see through it.
Yeah. There's all kind of places. It's just full of voids. It's no wonder that Zed had trouble with it. So yeah, I feel fortunate. Honestly, feel real fortunate. One, to use this wood and make it into something, but also that it stayed together. But it did, and so I'm happy. Hope everybody had a good day. Don't know how long there was Ruby back. It didn't take long.
Muted Ruby.
Sorry about that.
Was it a roof repair salesman?
No, windows and doors.
Okay. Yeah, I get all three of those all the time. I didn't get any politicians this time around, but I got windows, doors, and roof. All three of those. Unbelievable. Crazy. And pest control. I got pest control back in October. You don't need pest control in October usually.
Not usually.
But we're selling to everybody in your community. No. And they threw out 3 or 4 names. I didn't know any of them. So
well, my neighbor and I have been feeding a couple of stray cats, and they've taken care of all the pests in the whole neighborhood. I haven't seen a mouse or rat since they appeared.
Right. Only mice I see around here are outside, thank goodness, and cats, neighborhood cats, take care of them most of the time. All right, with that, I'm going to say good night, and I'm going to allow my cohorts to say good night as well.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
As they all sit there. Good night, everybody. We'll see you
after you push the button.
Yeah, we'll see you all next week, if not before. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.